welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shauna and I will be your tour guide today. Today, let's chat about the struggle that is history. It is so hard to find secular history, and it is so hard to find accurate history. Before we go any further, please scroll down, hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Also, I'm answering your questions on the ends of these videos. Be sure to stay through till the end for an answer. But if you would like to ask me your question, please head on over to Instagram right here and send me a DM. Guys, why is history so hard? Why? I just started reading The Knowledge Gap, and it actually, right in the first few pages, talks about how a psychologist decided that history, the abstract concepts of history, were developmentally inappropriate for elementary aged kids. This might explain the problem, right? It is so hard to find history, and I have struggled with this. I am a little bit liberal. I am a big believer that I have a huge responsibility raising girls to show them that they can do anything in the world, but also to show them an accurate representation of the world and how it was not always kind to all people. I mean, I'm probably a little bit feminist, right? A little bit feminist, a little bit liberal, girl power, girl empowerment. I'm all for that. Mostly, I just want my daughters to be well educated and genuinely educated about the world, how it's been, how it is, how it will be, because they'll change it. Finding a secular history is hard enough. I am pretty happy with what we've been using, which is History of the World, but there's a lot of debate on whether or not it's secular, because I think in the first book, I don't have firsthand experience with this. They reference many stories from the Bible. But the deal is that at the time, the Bible was an account of things that had happened historically. So it's included. You guys know my definition of secular is not that it is devoid of religion or religious reference. It is that it is neutral toward them. So I don't have firsthand experience with how it presents that. Because of that, I'm in a little bit of a struggle because maybe we should try, I've heard great things about History Quest and Curiosity Chronicles. Guys, if you have experience with any of this, please scroll down in those comments. Tell me your real and true thoughts. If you have experience with those and History of the World, that'd be like way super cool. So please share with me how that has worked for you. The struggle to find a secular curriculum is one hard enough. Then I've also heard reports that History of the World is not necessarily quite accurate. That's a whole other thing. As someone who is shouldering the burden of educating my children, it is very, very important to me that I do a good job with that. Amelia has expressed so much interest in scientific careers, which means we need real here and now things, right? Science, very factual based. It is important to me, both as an educating parent and as a mother of girls, to provide my children with an accurate reflection of history. I want them to know, and not just history, genuinely science, personal relationships, all of those things. I want their eyes to be open that it is not always roses. But the flip side of that is that some of the romance of the stories we know, one, it makes it easier to remember them, and two, just is feel good and will give them a greater appreciation for history and things like that. So I am just constantly in this tug of war of this struggle of history. And I know that lots of you out there also are. Some of the things, Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. I know that because there's a neat little rhyme. Well, turns out Columbus wasn't so great. We have gone out of our way to try to present things to our children as they are, but also not to keep it whitewashed by any means, to keep it age appropriate, but also honest. And some of the ways that we've done that, like we watched Hamilton with my daughter. Of course, she doesn't start asking questions until the woman in red comes out and we're finding out that Hamilton has made some not great decisions. And that's exactly how we posed that. So there's all this talk in Hamilton about slavery. So there are many things in history, slavery and oppression. So the way that we approached Hamilton's indiscretion was that we were honest with her. And these are things that, quite honestly, she does see some in real life. You know, she knows people who've been divorced. She knows people who come from broken homes. So it's very important to stay sensitive on this topic, because the last thing you want is for her to like run off and tell people they've made bad decisions. But genuinely, the simplest way that I could articulate to her what had happened in the show was that Hamilton made some very bad decisions. He didn't think about the consequences long term, and it really ruined his family, and it hurt everyone who loved him, everyone who was close to him, because he made such bad decisions that put the health and safety of his family behind those short-sighted decisions. That's kind of how we've tried to approach most things in history. Yes, Columbus sailed the ocean in 1492, but guess what? He was a horrible person who did some horrible things. As we have watched things like Hamilton, and as we have watched Hidden Figures, because she's so interested in science and just simply loves everything about it. And, we have the Katherine Johnson Barbie doll. As we do those things, as she learns about Sally Ride, I want to keep some of the romance of these things in it. I do love the Who Was books. I've also heard they're not accurate, but I feel like they're a great snippet. And all of the things that we do, that we study, I feel like it's a foundation. It's a foundation of what we'll build on as parents to be the ones who deliver that information in the way I want it delivered, but then also as educators to build on later as they grow and it does become more age appropriate. So in watching Hidden Figures, we had a lot to explain in that one, man. Why were the Black women treated differently? Well, because a lot of people made really bad decisions. They were short-sighted and they believed things that were absolutely not true. There were previous stigmas that hung around from the times of slavery, and things that thankfully, for the most part now, have been eradicated from the sweet little minds of our children. They're not being raised to believe those things. They're not being raised to see people differently. Thank God. So with Hidden Figures, we have to talk about, one, the differences in the way that races were treated, and two, female rights. We have a lot of discussions. We celebrate the anniversary of women getting the right to vote because it's a big deal. It's a big deal in my house that these women did this. It's a big deal that women helped us get to the moon. It is a big deal that there are female astronauts. These are things that I, as a mother of girls, put so much weight and emphasis on because it is genuinely so important for children of color, little girls of color especially, to see that there is a prima ballerina who's African American, that there is a woman who's been to space, that they can do absolutely anything that the boys can do. Finding a balance in our delivery of history is such a struggle. Again, if you guys have any experience with those curriculums, please scroll down, let me know. As we are approaching Thanksgiving, let me tell you, I love the Peanuts, and we have already watched those shows. Are we going to have a lot more conversation about the indigenous peoples who were affected? Yes. Am I going to let them think that the Thanksgiving story presented by the cartoon that Charles Schulz created is the way it was? No. Am I going to do my best to deliver these things in a way that, one, does not scare them from the world, but two, educates them about that? Yes. Again, I know that you guys feel this struggle. There's just so much weight, right? Because we're not educators. We don't know what we're doing. We're parenting, and parents never know what they're doing. We're just doing our best. Ride the struggle bus with me. Let's teeter-totter on that fine line of appropriate and too much, and just hope that we get this right when we're raising our little humans. Now, I will not tell you my beliefs because, quite honestly, my political beliefs just don't matter. You know why? I like you, you like me, and that's how it's gonna stay. But let me tell you that being able to tell my two little girls that in the year 2020, not only was a woman elected vice president, she is a person of color. Her husband is the first Jewish person in the first family. This is huge, and I don't care what your political beliefs are, and I hope that you don't care what mine are. There were black men, openly gay black men elected. There's an openly trans woman elected. I don't care how you feel about things. There is no argument that these are amazing times, that we are progressing to a place where people truly and genuinely can be treated equally, and maybe we won't have to be ashamed of our history one day. Maybe one day we just won't have to whitewash it. It is so important to me to be able to tell my little girls that these are the way things are in the world, that I might not have to have the explanation that I'm so sorry some people way back when had really bad ideas. I feel empowered, both as a mother and as a woman, that some things in the world don't have to be whitewashed. Guys, I hope that you found any of this today helpful, entertaining, or informative. Please scroll down, hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Again, I want to hear your comments on history things you're using. Please let me know. I know it's so hard and I feel the burden. Please share. Oh, actually, you know what? Here in Texas for 4th grade, so that's when Amelia will be going into 4th grade next year. Here in Texas, and I know that you guys don't do this everywhere because you're not Texans, but here in Texas, 4th grade year is Texas history. We have an entire year of our educational plan devoted to the history of our state. Well, I have yet to find an awesome homeschool curriculum that is going to do that. So I haven't quite figured out how we're doing this. I haven't quite decided if maybe we just take a summer and do like a study as a family and travel to all the fun places that brought up Texas history. I need your help. If you guys know of a great Texas history resource, curriculum, ideas, Facebook, whatever, please share because I need it. I can't possibly raise good little Texans if they haven't known Texas history. Thank you so much for coming back. If you stayed to the end of this video, let's talk question and answer time. Your questions, my answers. This hair color is currently blonde. Most recently, it was purple. As you guys know, I spent 10 years behind a salon chair as a hairstylist, cosmetologist. That's my training, and naturally, because of that, I've been blonde, like 50 different shades of blonde, brown, like 50 different shades of brown, black, red, pink, purple, green, blue. Anything else? That might be it. That might be all of them. So yes, I have been about 1,010,000 different hair colors. It changes pretty frequently. I almost always settle on and come back to blonde because I feel like it suits me best. But I will try to insert some pictures of some other colors. Oh, and other styles too, right? Like I've had pixie short, shaved in the back, super long, medium lengths, little long, little short, tons of styles. But that's just, I mean, I feel like it's a medium. It always grows back and I like to change it.